I use Jord. All right, let's come sit over here. Okay, so look, we're gonna look at straight ankle locks. Okay, we've talked about straight ankle locks before. Just to briefly go over a few things, just some basic sort of things. Whenever we're going to attack the straight ankle or any sort of straight joint lock, we're looking to bend back one part, okay, over a fulcrum, so over something, and then if we can attach if we can start putting pressure on the other side, we have a pretty good lock, yeah? So we're bending something over a fulcrum, okay? In this instance, we're looking at trying to come under, we're going to use our arm to our fulcrum. This is going to be our fulcrum, okay? We've got a gi, so this is very handy for us, okay? But the first thing we need to think about in this position is trying to get our hand, our arm, our fulcrum as high as we can up our body, okay? A few ways of doing this, and there's a few different variations of how you can grip this, okay? But we're in a gi, so let's use that, okay? So what I want you to do, once you get to this position, okay, I want you to all start just with, we're going to let each other do this so we can feel the position and feel where we're going to put ourselves, okay? I'm going to hook the leg and I'm going to shrug my shoulders, okay? So I'm going to shrug my shoulders and hold the gi here. So now the fulcrum's high, yeah? Should be slightly uncomfortable.
It's a lot more comfortable just by doing that.
Just by shrugging, okay? Now, let's look quickly at feet configuration. We're going to look at a very basic one and then we'll change it up a little bit, okay? So, we're going to look at what we call an ashigarami, where we talked about this briefly the other day, where I've got one foot on the hip, the other one is an active foot under his thigh. So if you come around this side, you see my other foot is under his thigh, and I'm here, okay? So I've got my shrug, I'm holding here, I've got a fairly high fulcrum there, okay? Cool. What I try to do now is I'm going to roll, already starting to come on, I'm going to roll my shoulder back, okay? Then from here, I start to tuck my elbow underneath and I extend. Yes, sound. Yes, sound. Okay. All right. So, if you do this right, you should get little imprints on there as well. Okay. So, I've overhooked, shrugged, and I've got the collar. Okay. Legs are in here. Okay. I'm going to roll my shoulder back. Already it sucks, but we're not finished yet. So I roll my shoulder back. And do you remember we took last week, maybe Saturday, we talked about ankle exposure, yeah? About how having this ankle exposure a little bit puts our foot in a good position to be able to attack. We spoke about this a few weeks back, yeah? By rolling your shoulder back in this sort of motion, creates that ankle exposure. Because we were struggling to get that in itself, yeah? So, shrug, hold, and ankle exposure there, yeah? Feet are in the position, and what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and lay on my elbow here, okay? Now slowly you're just going to bridge your hips up, okay? Once you've done that, try this. Place your hand on the knee as well and see how that feels. George's like, feels great. Fantastic. Everyone good? First one back in a couple of weeks, so welcome. All right, cool. Give it a go. 1, 2, 3. Foot here, and that one under that side, that's it. Okay, now shrug. There, good, okay. Now, when you do this now, I want you to bring your knee to your ankle. That's it, yes it, good, okay. Now you're gonna roll your shoulder back, okay, and then start to extend your hips. So that's good, but try and draw this elbow back and lay on your whole arm. Lay on your side. There. Oh. Okay, that's good, but try and get a little bit higher up. So you were here on here, so try and go almost up by his ankle. Yes, that's it. That's it. Shrug your shoulders to get that. Yeah, that's good. Now roll that back. Foot here, this foot, I want you to bring it onto the inside of his leg and under. Now squeeze your knee and your ankle together. So your knee goes down to your ankle. Yeah, that's it. There you go. Now you can roll the shoulder back, and what I want you to do is try and lay on your arm here. So lay your arm on the floor. So when you're here, so just like this, and now fall onto your shoulder. That's it, all the way, keep going. All the way onto your shoulder, there you go. Now you can bridge in. There it is. So you tuck that elbow back as much as you can and then bridge. Okay. Yeah? Whoop. Really? Interesting. Okay, well, interesting. I didn't say that. Yeah. There it is.
It's not really like.
Yeah.
You don't even have much.
You don't, yeah, no, but that's the idea, is to be so it's a smaller movement, so you can just tuck that in. You only need a small movement to finish. That's it. There you are. That's it. Good. Nice. Now, there. Now, roll your shoulder backwards. So in this sort of movement. There. Yeah. Now you're going to lay on your elbow and put your shoulder on the floor and slowly bridge your hips through. Keep going. Oh yeah. All right. Try this. You might.
I'm putting my own arm to sleep.
Try this instead of holding the gi now. Just come through and hold your own wrist. So you hold a figure 4 like this, yeah, and you're going to hold your wrist this way. So this one wrist and this one holds on top. Here, that's it. So just go all 5 fingers. That's it. Now again, keep real tight. Just tuck this in and try to put your head on the floor here. And before that happens, there.
That's nicer.
There you go.
There we go.
Just switch it. So you do the no-gi version. That's fine. You just do a no-gi version in a gi. It's fine. Shrug more. Now roll that. Yeah, that's it. Roll to the side. Now roll your shoulder backwards. Yes. There it is. There it is. Feels tight, right? Yeah, roll back. Now tuck your elbow underneath you and try to put your shoulder. There it is. There it is. There it is. Okay. Let's do. Yeah, that's it. Hold your wrist. That's it. Remember to roll your shoulder back still. And now head to the floor, tuck, and drive your hips through. There it is. There it is. It's this. So it's once you're here, this, tuck, hips, and then just banana. That's it. That's it. I used to like teach it. You draw a half circle with your head. So when you tuck, draw a half circle with your head. Nice. So this foot on the hip,
Oh, on this
yeah,
side,
and this one, knee in the middle. That's it. Good. That's it. Tuck that elbow in, and now just draw it. Yeah, there it is. So you don't really need much of the hips. Everything's tight as it is before you get the hips through. Okay, time. Good one. Okay. So everyone cool with that? Cool then, please. Sit that side, I'll do with the eye. Good ankle. Right. So that not only can you like shrug and hold, but you can also hold the wrist as well. So this is another way of doing this with a different hand position, where I'm holding here and drawing out slightly. Yeah. So it's a figure 4 position. So I've come over, shrugged, so it's high, and I'm holding here. Yeah. My thumb is over, and I'm rolling my knuckles forward. So I'm already tight. Okay. Now I can come in, finish from there. Okay. That's one way. Another way people like to do this is to come through with the elbow and hold the elbow high as well. So again, that's another way, but the principle is the same. Higher the fulcrum, stronger it is, yeah? And this is why it's quite nice to have it on the gi. It's not always necessary, but if you have the gi, you've got a good point of reference and you have this hand free to do what you need to do. If you lock up like this, you're using both hands, okay? All right. Have one more little go when playing with this. We're going to change the leg configuration slightly. So, where I'm here, I shrug. I'm here, holding on to the collar, okay, or figure 4, however way you want to do it, okay. Your foot now, this outside foot, instead of coming here, is going to go onto the inside, like this. So you've got a little butterfly hook here, okay. This foot here is going to go onto the hip, over the top, okay? From here, and you're just going to finish it the same way, okay? So the finish is the same. I roll my shoulder back, tuck my elbow and twist, but my leg configuration is a little bit different. So I've got the foot here, which is underneath his knee, and the other foot is on his hip. Cool, good. All right, play around with that then. 1, 2, 3. Change partners a little. So, yes, the other one is coming across onto the hip here. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's it. It's already not nice. So this one here, this foot on the hip. No. Yep. That one, the other foot goes over onto the hip. So try and get your foot actually on his hip. Stand on his hip. Good. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Shrug. That's it. Roll back, tuck your elbow, twist to the side, and that's all she wrote. That is all she wrote. Well, might be a good thing, might be a bad thing, who knows? It's just air, it's just air. Nice. That's it. That's it. So again, this.
You need to get that shoulder down a bit.
Yeah. So yeah. That's good. That's good. So again, yeah, it's just that high shrug, roll your shoulder back. So it's got to be a little bit, there's a little bit of tension when you roll that shoulder back because you're already setting it up, right? You're already strong in with it. Yep. And onto your side. Roll your. Oh.
Was that a mat? Is that a foot? You see my face, I didn't know.
I wish you rolled that way so I could zoom in on your face.
I shit myself, didn't I? Oh my god.
is that the mat? How was I supposed to know? Shrug. That's it. Roll your shoulder back. Do that little shoulder. Yeah, there you go. Right, everyone's good. You're happy with that position with the legs? You happy with that position with the legs? Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. The butterfly issue. Hip. Nice. They just push that, or they push the foot and sit. Okay. So yeah, it's quite difficult. It might be that if it's a struggle that you can't get the legs in, you may just end up just sitting back to the normal ashi, which is where you've just got that leg through as we were before. So that leg always comes underneath. This one's here, and then you're trapping. If you've got longer legs than the person, it may be that you end up having to do that because you can't. If your legs are too long and you can't get them in, you haven't got that dexterity.
Yeah, I don't have any control.
Yeah, but then if you've got that foot on the hip here and you can come here real tight, you could always bring this foot over as well onto the hip. So there's another option. So you could come here and then bring that foot over here. And what I would do is I'd always change the configuration, so I would go the other way around. So this leg is tapped over the top. Yes, that's it.
Really tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Now squeeze your knees, so make sure your knees are squeezed together.
It's just getting that shoulder.
Yeah, that's it. So what I'd try and put your chest on the floor. Try that. Yeah, your chest on the floor. This chest. There you go. And now just draw a little arch with your head. So try and look behind you. No, over your head. And go forward. Ready, go. Okay. So all it is, I think, is just your hand is like this. So this is really, really like soft. So you want to try and roll your hand over. So you're either holding here, yeah, or holding here. So this part is underneath the leg, because here is soft. So you don't have the pain. But if you roll it over this way, you've got bone and bone here. Like, it's a lot more painful. Okay. You didn't even need to roll. Can have a bunch of straight footlockers. I like it. I'll take it. No, I was saying, like, I feel that something missing from my game that I want to play more with is straight ankle locks, knee bars, and toe holds. So I'm going to try and play around with this snag and finish, and controlling. So that's what we're going to do now, is control it from that position and do that, and then talk about it and have some different ideas with it.
No, I know he tried to do a couple of classes which I've missed before. I went back, we just said that every time I rolled no,
yeah, he's always trying to grab my ankles. Good.
Mine, but mine's too bendy.
You just can't get the ankle exposure.
Am I small?
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, I know, he loves it.
So there is there is another thing that can happen. If you've got, let's go with this. Let's spin around. Go around this way. Go that side. So George, so there is another thing that can happen if you've got this leg here. So if you're here, you've shrugged high, you've got here where you've got the hands up, and you've come through. What can sometimes happen is the heel can come free. So the heel starts to come in front here, yeah? Now, here's the legality of this. If I intentionally put his ankle here and then finish it, don't do that. Yeah, then it's illegal, DQ, right? It's called an Aoki lock, like this. Okay. However, we're in this position, and Paul starts trying to pull his ankle free, and his ankle comes free, and then I finish it. Then that's fine. So it's all about intention. The intention for is he's going to try and escape, so he pulls his leg out, and I finish. It's fine. But if my intention is to just go, okay, this isn't working, I'm going to come in front and finish here, it's illegal.
How would they draw the line now? And if it was like, you know what I mean?
It's referee's decision. It's up to the referee.
With your back person, not both pulling your foot out of the garden,
I-
stand.
Very good point. Exactly that. You would look to start trying to get up on top, which is what we're going to try and do next. Good? In my hoodie. So yeah, so with the Aoki, it's here. Everything's the same, yeah? Configuration can be the same, yeah? You just, the heel just slips in front, and I want to try and make sure I keep my elbow as tight as I can to my side, and I'm here. And all I'm trying to do, again, is instead of now trying to break underneath here, I'm twisting the foot. Yeah, so you feel it on the knee more than the ankle. No, it's a good knee. That's why I purposely picked this one. So I tried to talk. So straight ankle lock here. Aoki lock is here. Okay, this is why it's illegal, because because it can hurt your knee. Yeah. So if we're in a position and at any point if my heel goes in front, I tap. I don't need that in my life. Yeah. But it can be really, really. If you were to compete no-gi, then some of the rule sets they allow this anyway. So they're allow it. So they're like, okay, you can Aoki lock. So you would probably go straight for that. Yeah. If you guys want to play with that, you're more than welcome. Absolutely not. So it's there anyway, so we can play with it a little bit later. Right. So this is what we're going to do. All right, Jordan. Okay. So you're not trying to finish, okay? But you're going to start in this position. I want you to focus on, keeping high with the hands. Yeah, keeping high and holding the grip. Yeah. You're going to start. You can use any configuration of the legs you want. Okay. You can start butterfly with the foot on the hip. You can ashi. You could outside ashi. Yeah. So you have any configuration you want. The goal for me is to try and keep you on the floor. So I got to try and keep your hips on the floor. Your goal is to try and stand up and get on top of me. Okay, so your goal just to come in, move around, try and get up and get on top of me. Yeah, boom, 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 get on top. Okay, my goal is to try and keep you on the floor. Yeah, simple. All right, let's play. No finishing. So you're just holding that leg. If you want, you can loosen that up if you want a little bit. So you're not too, it's not too solid. Yeah. Yeah, but I want you to focus on how you can use your legs to try and keep their hips on the floor or stop them from coming up on top. Okay? Person who is defending, try and find ways of trying to get on top of the person. How can you stop them doing what they want to do? Okay? Cool? All right. Grab a new partner. Let's give that a go. 1, 2, 3. I'll jump in.
like is I do the inside over.
I need my knees to work. How did you find that? Did you manage to get on top? No, it is difficult. It was very messy. Well, I mean, it wasn't clean what we were doing by any stretch. But what we sort of discovered was you need that other foot to get on top to post off of. Yeah. So if you've got both legs controlled. So if I'm here, if I've got pull. Here, if I've got, just for an example, I've got both legs like this. You try and stand up. You can't. You can't. It's one way out. But yeah, like you can't base on one foot. So the best success I had, which wasn't much, didn't have much success. The best one I had was by controlling the other leg. So I had this leg here locked up, and I was doing what was here, shrugged and in, or here, yeah. I had butterfly ashy, and then this was here.
Yeah.
So I was hooking this to stop you from coming up, and that worked okay. I guess from here, I've got my foot across. From hooking on this one, at any point, really, if I'm trying to finish, I can shrug back and finish. So it's could be quite nice, and that works well in a gi because I have this other arm. But if I, yeah,
If I were doing like how I was doing,
yeah, no. So I think, with regards to you, if you can keep twisting the knee out, it can be quite difficult for them to come back. We also found that a good way of escaping is turning in with my knee. So if I was here, if you had my ankle here, yeah, what I found is if I can come around to the side and turn my knee in.
And you're okay to do that?
Yes, that's fine. He can't intentionally roll this way and finish it this way, okay? But I can turn my knee in, that's fine, yeah? And if I turn my knee in, that takes away from that little bit of pain on my ankle, because it's from there, you're twisting here. So the pressure's coming on, so you've lost that pressure, that bite, yeah, that bend on it, okay? So that was quite good. Okay, second round then. Person, go low resistance, yeah? And you're gonna hold the leg. The person who is defending, I want you to try and just rotate your leg in and just see how it feels. The other person just let you do it a couple of times. And then after that, I want you to see if you can find ways of stopping that rotation. Yeah? So do a couple of times, allow it to happen, let them feel, let them move, and then try and work on them to stop the rotation of the inward rotation. Okay? Cool? All right, let's give that a go. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Yeah.
Takes that a little bit. Hang on. Yeah. So I feel like I don't know about you. A little bit. Okay, cool. So yeah, if you're happy with that, try and stop your opponent rolling in. Try and stop your opponent rolling in.
Straight back. Go.
Yeah, that's good.
You kind of got it feels like you've got to lay into it. Yeah, to straighten his leg out.
How was that? All right. So with that rotation, what was rotating? Hips, knee, hips and knees. Yeah. So if I've got pull in this position, so I've got my actually, we'll just go very light. This one, very light. If I've got my butterfly, I'm here. Yeah. If he wants to rotate in, he turns his knee in to rotate. Yeah. So what's quite nice, which I saw and what I was playing around with, was to come under the shin here and roll this out. So if I'm here now, just roll your knee in. A canny. Yeah. So I'm rolling this outwards by controlling the knee and controlling the orientation of the knee, it's hard for him to turn in. So this is quite nice to be here, okay? Now, if you add this in with your shrug, twist, here, look, this can be pushing out, here, there. So you've got a lot of stuff to play with there, yeah?
Foot position.
Yeah.
I prefer to have my foot here and tucked under. Is that
This
okay
one.
rather than on the hip?
Yes, but just be wary that they can attack this foot. Yeah. So if you're here, the reason why it's nice on the hip is that if he sits into me, I can use this as a frame. Yeah.
What do you do to stop them just knocking it off?
It is what it is. If it gets knocked off, then you're going to have to try and find ways of keeping this real tight and squeezing. Yeah. Big things to remember is to clamp the leg that you're attacking. Yeah.
It felt like having it under there was using that to push up. And
Yeah,
knees
you
down,
can
so I couldn't put
turn in. Oh, that works though. That's good. I'll take that if that works. Like I say, the only thing is now you start peeling my knee. So if you start now opening my knee out, now you can start to turn. The other thing you have is if I go, if you do to me. So this foot is over. I look to pull here. Now I can look to attack this foot. So, I mean, it's not so much if we're talking white belt rules, but it's just something to think about because you can start to come in and hook this way and finish, yeah? So it's always just stuff to think about. But, I mean, if it slips, it slips. Keep this clamped and finish that.
Yeah.
Make sure you finish that. But if you're tight enough from the off with the your grip, the shoulders, rolling those shoulders back, before this is even a thing, they're tapping. I think that's what you've got to think about, is if you can be as tight as you can on the end of that lever, on that foot, you've got it. It's already there. Yeah? Cool? Okay, so let's do this. We'll have one person trying to finish the footlock. Okay, so we're going to start in the footlock, trying to finish. The other person is just trying to stand up or remove the foot, one of the two. Okay, stand up or remove the foot, yeah? We're going to go low intensity, yeah, low intensity. So what that means is if you feel like I'm using a lot of strength to stop this, stop, let the movement go and see if you can follow it, see if you can find something else with it, okay? Let's work with that just a little bit, play around with it, okay? Cool? New partners, let's give it a go. 1, 2, 3. I'll go. Yeah, yeah, that's it. Yeah, exactly. Do you know what it is?